Clayton Kershaw, the Dodgers legend, the future first ballot Hall of Famer. He made his first rehab start today. It was an early start, 11 a.m. first pitch down in Oklahoma City, and he goes 3 innings, gave up no runs, had 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, 2 walks through 30 pitches, 22 for strikes. So an efficient outing for Clayton Kershaw that is making his way back from offseason toe surgery, and that's the last box that he needs to check. He's talking about how his arm feels good, but he needs that toe to get back to full strength so he can push off to get the last couple ticks on that velocity. He had the toe surgery back in November, and he's continuing to build up that strength. In today's outing, gave up a couple singles, did get a big double play there in the first, had a couple strikeouts, worked his way around those 2 singles. The first single he gave up was erased after getting that double play, got 4 ground ball outs. He retired 8 of the 10 batters that he faced. The fastball averaged 87.5 miles per hour and topped out at 88.8 miles per hour. So Kersh doesn't rely on velocity like a lot of pitchers out there, but you do want to see that number in the 9 range. You want to see a 90-plus mile per hour fastball. In recent years, you've seen it 91s, 92s, occasionally a 93 every now and then. But that is ideal when you pair that with a slider and the way it tunnels, it looks like a fastball, falls off the table. The curveball plays, using some changeup, using some two seams, some splitters. So I think he's going to diversify that pitch mix a little bit to keep hitters on balance. But the big takeaway from this whole experience with Clayton Kershaw is you got to be patient with this rehab process and not expect too much early on, because mind you, this is going to be a lengthy rehab process because he was transferred to the 60-day IL on March 18th, and he can't come off the IL, and he's not eligible to return until May 17th. So that will give him time to make at the very least 4 more rehab starts with a lot of rest in between. And that is how they're going to play this. And Clayton Kershaw is not the biggest fan of rehab starts. I asked him about this last season. He said, look, the reason for that is you want to save your best pitches for the show, right? If you're going to empty the tank, you want to use those pitches to get out big league hitters. But I do think that he's seeing more value in this because he wants to finish his career strong. Dave Roberts said about him not loving those rehab starts, a first ballot Hall of Famer doesn't like to pitch in minor league games on rehab, but hey, there's no alternative, right? I mean, so that is just the truth there. And he said, we're going to get him back, and he's going to look forward to it. And his last outing was a good one, and I expect him back and healthy. So, yeah, he was facing hitters in Arizona, and now he faces live action in a game. So it's definitely a positive step in the right direction for Clayton Kershaw. And he did speak to reporters briefly after his start. This comes courtesy of our friends over the Bleed Los podcast. Definitely give them a sub. Do a fantastic job, especially getting those road pressers. Shout out to all the great people over the Bleed Los. My man Roger always killing the game over there. Well, here was Clayton Kershaw talking about climbing the fence early on and how his toe felt, and just going out there and getting this process started, and just how he felt coming out of his first rehab start.
It feels good. Yeah, it feels good. I think I broke the gate back there, so sorry about that, but it feels good. Yeah, I mean, I think anytime with rehab, you want to feel healthy, which I do. It felt good today. And then you want to see your stuff obviously play. And so, I got some quick outs, which is good. There's some things that I need to work on still, but, for the first one overall, it was a good step forward for sure.
So did he really break that gate? That's hilarious if he really did. I mean, he either has to pay for it, they named it the Clayton Kershaw gate. I mean, I think they absolutely should take advantage of that moment. I don't know if there's any footage of that, but that is hilarious. And then he was talking about the stuff, and we know when Clayton Kershaw is at his best, the slider's effective. I always say Clayton Kershaw is a happily married man, but he has a slide piece. The slider, the most effective secondary pitch for Kersh, is bread and butter, and he talked about where it's at during this process.
Yeah, there's some that had the right bite on it and some that, I'd want to have back. But I think that was, overall, there's some good throws in there.
And then he talked about the fastball velocity and if he's happy with that. And like you would expect from Clayton Kershaw, a perfectionist, a guy that outworks everyone, he knows that the fastball isn't where it needs to be right now. But here's him talking about it.
I don't know. Probably not. Yeah.
So, yeah, probably not. I mean, averaging around 88 miles per hour, that's not what he's looking for in those situations. He wants 90. He wants 90 or above. So that, to me, doesn't come as a surprise for him to have that response. But I think the interesting thing about Clayton Kershaw at this point of his career is what does that pitch mix look like when he gets back onto the mound? Because this is a guy that has relied heavily on that slider and just using fastball command to set that up. And then when he's got you really off balance, you'll see him working the Uncle Charlie, that Cooperstown curveball there. Well, you've seen his pitch mix evolve a lot throughout his career. And last couple of seasons, the big difference is he throws the slider more than he does the four-seam fastball. Last time we saw him in 24, threw the slider 43% of the time, the four-seamer 34% of the time. But then we also saw him working a splitter. He threw 21 splitters last year. He also threw 6 sinkers. He also threw a couple of changeups. So you've seen him diversify that pitch mix a little bit, and that'll be interesting to see. Do we see more splitters? Do we see more changeups? Do we see more two-seam fastballs when he gets back on the mound? Well, he was asked about that as well, just kind of working in those pitches that we're not used to seeing from him.
I don't know. Yeah, I want it to be more of a runner, not a sinker. Just kind of go straight across the lefties, and then right now my changeup feels okay. So that's see if that lasts. But for right now, I feel like I can at least throw it a little bit. So I'd like to be able to. So we'll see. Yeah.
So it sounds to me like he's looking for weapons to evolve, right? I mean, that is what the greats do. The great ones evolve, right? Michael Jordan finds that fadeaway, right? I mean, you have different pitches towards the end of your career that allow you to lengthen that career. There's a reason why Noah Syndergaard is updating his LinkedIn profile as we speak. There's a reason why guys like that who are overly velocity reliant weren't able to stay in this league because that's all they had. They didn't have other clubs in their bag, so to speak. Well, Clayton Kershaw, he's done that throughout his career, and you got to give him credit for it, and that's a reason why he's entering his 18th season with the Dodgers. And then he also talked about just this Oklahoma City environment, going down there, pitching in front of those fans, and also about the talent that exists with the Dodgers AAA affiliate.
That was great. Yeah, I like this ballpark. It's fun to be here. 11 a.m. is a little early, obviously. I think the guys are still waking up, but yeah, it was a fun game. A lot of kids, which was great, and yeah, it was fun. I like these guys. There's a good group. Obviously, a lot of talent. A lot of big leaguers for sure. So, but good group, fun to be around, and it's always fun to come down here.
So there we go, Clayton Edward Kershaw. I miss that. I don't care if it's a Kershaw day in OKC. I don't care if it's in LA. I don't care where it is. Baseball is better when you're saying the name Clayton Kershaw, when you're watching that delivery, that slider, that dude go out there and give it everything he has, which he's done throughout his entire career. And look, what we're going to see for him for the rest of the way is just put himself in a position where when he comes up, he can stay healthy and he can go out there and help this team any way he can. And I think the big thing for Kersh is just not trying to do too much. Going up here, getting 5-6 innings per start, getting the strikeouts. We need 32 strikeouts for him to become the 20th pitcher in big league history to throw 3,000 strikeouts. And is this a farewell tour? We'll see. It's possible. If he contributes, they win the World Series, he might ride off to the sunset. But I can tell you that he loves to pitch, and he loves to be a part of this team and this organization. So as long as he can help this team and pitch at a high level when he's out there, I expect him to continue his career. And as Andrew Friedman said, the door will always be wide open for Clayton Kershaw for as long as he wants to pitch. And he's never going to pitch for another organization.